Welcome to the new audio podcast with Gelmi. Take off now and boost your efficiency in leadership, teamwork, and customer contact. Today's topic is the Storyteller.
Do you ever have the impression that your mind is going nuts? That your mind is really behaving like the monkey mind? Do you ever feel like your thoughts are going out of control? Well then, welcome. You're in good company. Because for most people, the uncontrolled thinking that the mind produces is noise in their heads all day long. And I would like to show you a very simple yet effective way of dealing with this chatter that goes on all day in your mind. So for most people, the days look something like this. They wake up in the morning, and then for a few seconds, there's quietness. And then the first thought comes up. What day is today? Oh, Tuesday. Oh, no. I have this meeting at 10 with my boss. And in the afternoon, the one with my customer. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. And then you step into the shower, and with you in the shower are your boss, your colleagues, your customers, your so-and-so, and you're already in the business, in your work day with your mind, although you're still in the shower, so you're not present. So for most people, the uncontrolled mind, the uncontrolled thinking is like a young dog, a young puppy, if you let it off the leash. What does it do? Well, it runs from one corner to the other. It does what it wants, and sometimes it really goes crazy. And it's very similar with our mind. You know, our mind is a beautiful tool. It's so effective if we use it, if we use our intelligence to tackle a specific challenge or task. We can solve complex problems with our mind. It's incredible. Yet, if we do not control it, if we let it off the hook, it can sometimes go crazy. And it does what it wants. There was a study recently done in the US that came up with a very simple conclusion. And that was that the wandering mind is an unhappy mind. So whenever you let your mind do what it wants to do, just uncontrolled thinking, chances are that you think yourself into unhappiness. Why is that? Because for most of us, the uncontrolled thinking is nothing but a bad habit. It's very often the same thinking as yesterday, so very repetitive, the same as last month, the same as last year's. We keep thinking the same things, having the same inner dialogues for ages. In addition, it's very often not very positive. We have a tendency to have negative thoughts, very critical and pessimistic thoughts. And the mind, the uncontrolled mind, has a strong tendency to either go into the past and spend some time there with regrets. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have done that differently. Why did I do that? Etc., etc. Or it goes the other way, right into the future, asking, what will it be? Will I be able to solve that? What if? So very sorrowful thinking or hopeful thinking, both keeping your attention away from the present moment. And if you think of it for a moment, what does sorrow really help? What is the benefit of sorrowful thinking? Nothing. The only thing is that you feel bad. And we very often think ourselves into a bad mood because of this tendency of the mind. So we could say that the uncontrolled thinking, and I sometimes call it the storyteller, because it's really our mind telling us stories all the time about what we experience, about what we have experienced, about what we may be experiencing. So the storyteller is like a radio in your head, producing noise all day long, from morning to evening. Worst case, it keeps you from sleeping at night. And that's latest, the point where you should have a closer look at what your mind does and how you can get a hold of that. So if we stay with the image of the radio in your head, the goal is not to switch it off, because that will be difficult. Because the mind just does what it has to do, what it is there for. It produces thoughts. Just like the saliva glands produce saliva, the mind produces thinking. It's very normal. So it's okay. It's perfectly fine. What you can do, though, is you can find ways to lower the volume, to turn back the volume and have your mind's chatter in the background rather than on top of your mind. And sometimes this radio also tends to be stuck in the problem channel. If you manage to switch the channel to something more constructive, that's even better. And this is a skill that can be learned, that can be trained. You can train your mind like a muscle to become more mindful, more attentive in the moment, and less distracted. So the good news is you don't have to believe everything your mind is telling you, your storyteller is telling you. That's a very new piece of information for most people. So in other words, you are not your thinking. Your thinking process is something that is independent from your identity. And the proof for that is as simple as the fact that you can observe your own thinking. So if you can observe your own thinking, it's logical that you are not your thinking. And in order to detach from this stream of thoughts, this stream of automatic, uncontrolled thinking, there are a few images that you can use to make it easier for you. One of them being a blue sky, and every thought being a cloud slowly manifesting in that blue sky. And just as a cloud that is a very small cloud initially, and it grows into maybe even a very big, dark rain cloud, thunderstorm cloud, our thoughts very often grow like this. So what you can do, you can imagine your thoughts being clouds and you just let them pass. You just let them pass by on that sky without necessarily hopping onto every cloud and traveling with it. Another image that has proven to be useful for many of my clients is the image of a stream. So imagine your stream of thoughts is an actual stream, a river flowing along. You don't have to be in that river trying not to drown, trying to keep your head above the waterline. You can swim to the shore, sit on the shore, and watch the river flowing in front of your eyes. A third image that some have found useful is to imagine your thinking as a highway, a road with dense traffic. Every car is a thought. You can sit at the side of this road watching the traffic. You don't necessarily have to board every vehicle and drive away with it. So there is no need to become entangled in your own thinking and become lost in thoughts. Instead, you can just let your thinking be, let it be in the background, let the monkey mind do what it does, what it is happy to do, but don't go with every thought your mind is producing and is offering you, particularly the negative thinking, the worries. Why worry? Because it doesn't really help anyone if you are lost in worries. So give it a try. Something you may want to Google if you want to dive deeper into this kind of topic is mindfulness, or another acronym that is called MBSR, which stands for Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction. A concept that was developed by an American named John Kabat-Zinn. He's got a PhD in molecular biology of the MIT, so he's a scientist. He's not some sort of a guru. And he has developed this mindfulness-based stress reduction concept, which is very, very effective in reducing stress by developing mindfulness. My wish for you is that this impulse will help you increase your personal effectiveness. Yours, Thomas Gelmi.